Chapter 1. The hotel isn't new, but it pretends to be. Glass doors breathe conditioned air into the humid night, swallowing me whole. Behind the front desk, a wall of keys sits for decoration only. Everything here runs on cards and smiles. I have a reservation, I say, sliding my ID forward. The clerk reads my name, nods, taps, and then hesitates tiny pause, like a caught thread. Room 413, she says, eyes flicking almost invisibly to the left. Another clerk looks up. He doesn't speak. Elevator mirrors warp me into someone well-rested and richer than I am. When the doors open, the corridor is colder, the carpet a deeper red like dried petals pressed between pages. The hallway smells faintly of limes and something older, like a wooden chest that's been closed too long. Room 413 waits at a corner bend, where the light is dimmer without being dark. I tap the card and the lock clicks with a wet, swallowing sound. Inside, a neat bed, thin curtains, a lacquered desk with a single orchid whose stem bends, heavy with bloom. The air is fine, too fine. I tell myself the trick to sleeping in hotels is to unpack fast and make it yours. I hang 2 shirts in the wardrobe, line up my toiletries, and place my old keychain red string knotted around a coin on the bedside table. The string twitches once, the coin answering like a tiny bell. I freeze. Then I laugh, because I have to. Somewhere down the hall, a housekeeping cart squeals, then stops. Then the corridor goes very, very quiet. Chapter 2. The first knock is polite. 3 fingertips on wood. Tock, tock. I pause, phone halfway to the charger. It's the kind of sound people make when they don't want to startle you, when they want to be let in, not just heard. I check the peephole, out of habit. No one. I open the door anyway, foot braced, chain latched. Nothing but the hum of the ice machine and the red exit sign breathing at the far end. The carpet smells faintly of bleach and older, darker things buried under it. I lock up. The bed is too soft. It cups my body like a hand that knows too much. I scroll until the words stop meaning anything. Give up, kill the light. That's when the whispering starts. Not words at first, just the shape of them, like neighbors trying to be considerate. Then it sharpens. A radio dial easing into station. 2 voices, a man and a woman. Murmur, pause, murmur, always a breath too close. After a minute, I realize there isn't a room next door. The wall by my headboard backs onto service space. The whispering coils around that thought and tightens. A draft slides under the headboard and rises like a hand smoothing my hair. The orchid on the desk trembles, petals shivering without air. I sit up fast enough to make my vision blur. I switch on the desk lamp. The bathroom mirror is fogged, though I haven't run water. I wipe it. For a heartbeat, the reflection lags, then it catches up, snapping to me with a subtle violence. The towel in my hand goes suddenly colder, heavier. Warm droplets slip from its hem onto my foot. I smell rain. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. The digits are all 4s and 1s, like a pattern the machine invented when it couldn't decide who to be. I don't answer. In the screen's blue light, I see the wardrobe door ajar. Inside, the shirts I hung don't hang. They sway, as if someone just slipped past them into the back of the closet. The whispering stops. Silence falls wrong, too complete, like the hotel has ducked underwater and is holding its breath. Then the old sounds of a room lived in begin. A drawer slides open, not mine. Metal touches porcelain, not mine. The delicate chime of glass on glass, not mine. Voices are directly outside, now low and patient, the tone you use to soothe a child waking from a nightmare. The words aren't in my language, not exactly, they move around meanings. I know hush, enough, now. Hello, I say, is someone out there? The corridor answers with the soft gasp of central air and the tick of heat in the walls. I look down, wet footprints stain the carpet outside my door. Small, bare, turned inward like a guest, left the shower and wandered. They stop at my threshold, not past it, not away, just there. 2 feet closing parentheses around my room number's brass. I rip the door open. The corridor is empty, but the prints are darker now, and 1 fat drip hangs from the corner of the brass 4 like a tear that refuses to fall. I shut the door too hard. Call the front desk. Hi, sorry to bother you. I think the people in the next room are loud. Do I have neighbors? A pause. The soft clatter of keys. Sir, you do not have an adjacent room. Is there any maintenance work? In the service room behind my wall? Another pause. The careful kind. No work scheduled this evening. I'm hearing voices. I say finally, because the truth is lighter than the explanations I've tried to carry. The clerk's voice lowers. Sir, would you like to change rooms? No, I say, because the word surprises me less than yes. No, I'm okay. Thank you. The orchid sheds a petal. It lands face down like a drowned thing. I turn every light on. The lamps glow anemically, like they're pretending at daylight. When I come out of the shower, my toiletries have been rearranged so precisely, I doubt my own memory and hate myself for doubting it. The coin on the red string sits where I left it, but the string has been reknotted, same ends, different tuck, a sailor's loop tied by hands that don't need light. The curtains move though, the window is locked. At 3:13 a.m. I drift, because even fear gets tired. I wake to someone sitting on the bed. The mattress caves beside my hip. The weight is light, like a child or a person who has been sick too long. Cold rolls from that dent and spreads across the blanket. And then a hand, yes, a hand presses my forearm. Not a caress, an inventory, like a blind person learning a face. I can't move. Who are you? I whisper. The answer is a breath against my ear that might once have been a name or might be the hotel telling me, very gently, to leave. The air tastes like copper. The lights flicker, but none go out. The pressure lifts. I don't sleep again. When I rise, the dent is gone. The coin sits where I left it. Wet footprints lead from the bathroom to the wardrobe and stop just inside where the carpet is dry. I pack slowly, making sure each movement is loud. The silence watches. I open the wardrobe. Nothing, just the shirts, still swaying faintly as if trying to remember which way the person who wore them walked. Chapter 3. I don't plan to ask, but the question finds its own mouth. Have you worked here long? I say when housekeeping knocks at noon. A woman in her 50s, posture straight as the cart she pushes, hair pinned with a comb carved like a bird. Her cart is immaculate, each item nested with quiet intention. A small dish of red string bracelets hides behind the neatly folded soaps like a shrine that has learned to disguise itself as utility. Long, she says. Since before the renovation. Before the renovation, I echo, though I hadn't known there was one. How is the 4th floor? The smile pauses. It doesn't vanish, exactly, just becomes still, like water when the wind dies. The 4th floor is like any other floor, she says, and the way she says it makes it untrue. Would you like me to clean now, sir? I nod too quickly and say yes. She steps in with her cart, and I step out, sitting in the corridor. The air is faintly chemical, faintly old. The carpet gives just enough under my feet to suggest something breathing underneath. Then I hear her speaking. Not to me. She murmurs in a language I don't fully understand but almost recognize rhythms like temple prayer, like lullabies pressed through centuries. The cadence makes my skin tighten. A soft tapping begins wood on wood, 9 taps at the bed's 4 corners and 4 at the center. Tap, tap, tap. Like an old metronome teaching the room to remember. When she steps back into the corridor, her hands smell of citrus and something metallic. Everything is fine now, she says. I lower my voice, though I don't know why. Was there someone before? A guest? She looks toward the far bend of the corridor where the light is always a degree dimmer. There was always someone, she says. But if you mean a story, we have too many stories and not enough truths. She rests both hands on the cart's handle. Her nails are short, clean, deliberate. Long ago, this floor held overflow. Staff beds when storms came. They called one of the rooms the waiting room. Some left offerings, fruit, incense, coins tucked under pillows. Some took things not theirs. She glances at the red string on my wrist and nods, barely. One night, rain made the city small. The power died. A guest, a young woman, never woke up. The doctor said her heart forgot. The auntie said something else. After that, guests saw things. A boy walking with wet feet, someone sitting on beds, a voice that said, "Can I stay?" The words make the hallway seem narrower. After that, a priest came. A monk came. A woman who called herself a cleaner of other kinds of dust came. They all did their work and the hotel did its own work, which is forgetting. But buildings have memories like teeth. They keep what bites. She ties a small red thread around the orchid stem on my nightstand as if sealing a promise. "Don't sleep with the mirror facing you," she adds, casual as weather. "And don't invite anything by asking its name. Don't say, 'Who are you?' Say, 'I am resting. Please let me rest too. You think you're the only one who needs sleep?'" That evening, after hours of trying not to look at the mirror, I decide to change rooms. "We can move you to the 7th floor, the clerk says, voice softening. "If the 4th floor is uncomfortable." "It is," I say. Room 713 smells of lemon cleanser and new paint. The bed is identical but less insistent, like an echo with the sound stripped out. I place the coin and red string on the nightstand and feel ridiculous, but safer in the way superstition always promises. At 10:12 p.m, my phone rings. The hotel's switchboard. "Sir," the clerk says, voice careful, cheerful. "Housekeeping found an item left behind in your old room." "What item?" "A comb," she says after a pause. "Carved wood. Bird shape." "That's not mine. Perhaps it belonged to the previous guest. We will hold it for 90 days. Have a good night." I do not have a good night. I dream of water creeping under doors. I dream of a girl with hair like seaweed, combless hands moving through tangles that won't resolve. I wake with the sense of a hand just having left my ankle. The sheets are dry, but carry the smell of rain. The next afternoon, on some stubborn impulse, I go back to the 4th floor. The elevator feels slower, as if lifting through syrup. I stand outside 413 with the new key in my pocket and the old card in my hand. The door is open a slit. Inside, the orchid's petals are arranged in the shape of a comb, 5 white teeth fanned on the desk. I do not go in. The air is colder here, or maybe simply closer. Behind me, the housekeeper appears, quiet as something thinking. "You didn't forget anything," she says. Not a question. "No," I say, "but I think something forgot me." She nods, eyes unreadable. "Some rooms do not like to be empty," she says. "They like a person inside them." The hotel sells sleep. The room sells staying. "Has anyone," I ask, "ever taken the room home with them?" She smiles sadly, as if I've misunderstood something basic. "You can't take a room," she says. "A room takes you." She places a pinch of salt at the threshold and whispers to it. The salt glimmers like bone dust. "Don't ask its name," she reminds me. "Don't agree if it asks yours." She pushes her cart down the corridor, the wheels silent on the carpet. The light hums overhead as if unsure how long it's been on. I stand there alone. The slit of darkness beyond the door breathes once, very gently, like someone deciding not to wake. Chapter 4. The last night begins before I know it has started. There is no moment that declares itself, no clang of elevator doors, no chill running down the spine, just a soft collapsing of the ordinary. I am on 7. The room is new, clean edges, white paint that still smells faintly of the hardware store. The kind of place meant to convince you nothing has ever happened inside it. Then the air grows heavy with that sweetness you get in old shrines, flowers that died gracefully, polished wood that remembers skin. It is subtle at first, sweetness braided with dust, not decay, not exactly more like the breath left in a locked hope chest when it is opened after too long. I sit up. The room is quiet, but it's a curated quiet, like someone set it down for me to unwrap. I do not say, "Who are you?" I say, very carefully, "I am resting. Please let me rest too." The light flickers, once, twice, the curtains bell inward. A second set impossible, but visible billows inside the first, like a reflection caught arriving before its object. The air between them glows faintly, like static before a storm. The room tilts, barely. Not a movement, more like a suggestion. And then something sits on the bed. It is the same weight, the same careful depression beside my hip, the same cold rising from the mattress like mist climbing a hill. But this time, the cold keeps going. It climbs my shoulder and settles across my chest. It is not testing anymore. It is wearing me. My right hand lifts without me. It opens, palm up, like receiving a comb. My left hand crawls to my hair. Fingers thread through, gentle at first, then tighter. I cannot stop it. Every muscle is full of sand, impossible to move, the body becoming a room someone else has started to furnish. Please. I manage, and the word comes out wrong, 2 notes lower than my own, tuned to a prayer I never learned, but my mouth suddenly knows. The mirror clouds. In its fog, a face writes itself, not mine. A young woman, cheeks hollow, hair long enough to brush the floor if she kneels, water beads on her collarbone where the robe, my robe, is open. Her eyes are not entirely in this room. They are somewhere just behind it, watching a place that still remembers her. She looks through me to the wall where 413 waits, 3 floors down. Her lips shape a name that is not mine. The name tastes of salt as it passes behind my teeth. The coin on the red string jumps as if struck from inside. The carved bird comb lies on the desk where there was no comb before. The wood gleams dark, oiled by careful hands. The room tips harder, a slow capsizing. I feel a pressure near my ear, not breath, but the deliberate quiet of someone leaning close to speak into bone. Don't say yes, something inside me says in the housekeeper's voice. Don't give it your name, please. The voice says not in my ear, but in my throat. It is my mouth, but it is not my need. I clamp my jaw. I press my tongue to my molars like anchoring a boat with flesh. I make my breath noisy, sloppy, human. I break the elegance of whatever is practicing itself through me. My right hand fists, nails, biting deep. The pain is such a foolish relief I almost laugh. The laughter comes out as a hiccup of steam in the cold. I take the coin in both hands, press it to my sternum. I am resting, I say, and my voice is mine now but tired, thin as used paper. Please let me rest too. I say it again and again, stupid as a lullaby, as if repetition could build walls. A knock sharp, certain. The housekeeper enters without waiting. Her eyes go to the mirror immediately. Not to me, not to the bed. You don't belong here, she tells the mirror, voice low. This is not your floor. This is not your name. You are making a mess. The mirror fogs darker. As if embarrassed, she opens a small tin. Inside, salt, red thread, folded paper charms so thin they look like malted wings. She presses one square above the mirror, one on the bathroom door. She coils red string around the comb, knotting it quickly, her hand sure, the motion as practiced as folding sheets. We forgot you, she says to the air, not to me. We are sorry, but you cannot move into everyone who leaves the space. The curtains stir. Offended, she turns to me. Say the sentence. I am resting. I say. Again, I am resting. Please let me rest too. And first portis, she nods once, like a judge signing a dismissal. Pay in the morning, she tells the room, as if settling a bill. Then go home. The weight lifts not like a body standing, but like a tide retreating reluctantly, pulling at every thread of me as it goes. The cold stops trying to be me. The curtains fall back into place. The mirror admits it is glass. She picks up the comb. This was never yours, she says. But it liked the idea. Many things like the idea of being yours. Be careful what you invite. Was she? I stop before the question becomes a name. The housekeeper's mouth softens, but her voice stays firm. She was someone who didn't want to go, she says, because going meant the worst thing had already happened. Some people don't like past tense. She slides the comb into her apron pocket like returning a tool. Open the window. It doesn't open, I say automatically. She smiles faintly. Open it a little anyway. I find the seam. It yields an inch, then 2. A thin breath of night slips through, smelling of wet pavement and distance. The housekeeper sprinkles salt into the crack, the grains bright as teeth. Pay in the morning, she repeats. To the air, to the mirror, to the room. Then she leaves, closing the door softly behind her. The silence that follows is not empty. It is polite. I sleep like the dead, which is to say, I don't dream. At checkout, the lobby is brighter than any morning deserves. The world looks printed, overexposed. People speak in cheerful tones that seem to belong to another layer of reality I no longer fully occupy. The clerk slides the folio toward me. At the bottom is a handwritten line item, housekeeping special cleaning, the charge reduced to 0. Was this for me? I ask. For the room, she says. Then, in the careful tone of someone deciding to tell the truth, some rooms don't like to be empty. Her eyes flicker toward the elevators before she catches herself. I sign. Step out into the heat. The hotel's glass lets go of me hard, hiccuping me into daylight like it forgot how to release gently. The sky feels too open, too uncontained. When I look back, I count the windows to where 713 might be. In one pane, the light seems a little less bright, like the bulb is trying to remember how to be warm. I tell myself I will sleep better at home, I tell myself it was just a story the building told me, and I accidentally believed it. But at the airport, my phone buzzes. Unknown number. The caller ID is a storm of 4s and 1s. I don't answer. The screen fogs, then clears. I open my hand to place the phone in the tray at security and find a single long black hair. Not mine. Not anyone's I can name. I tie the red string tighter around my wrist. The knot sits there like a small, red eye that has decided to stay open.